Hello, welcome to the 2010 through 2011 NFL regular season schedule, Week 13 picks, Part 2 of 2. We're going to start off at 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox between Washington at the Giants of New York. New York came through its Waterloo during the second half last week, outscoring Jacksonville 18-3 to win 24-20 and snap a two-game losing streak that dropped them out of the NFC East lead. The Giants swept this ancient rivalry in each of the last two seasons and have won 7 of the last 8. The Redskins were just 10-23 at Giants Stadium. This is their first game at the new Meadowlands Stadium, where New York is 4-2 this year. Giants coach Tom Coughlin was 3-3 versus Mike Shanahan when the Redskins coach was in Denver, including a playoff victory for each when the former was with Jacksonville. The only thing the Giants have to do is go old school by giving it to the big guys and choke down the defense on the field versus Washington. Giants 20, Redskins 19. At 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS, it's Denver at Kansas City. Denver has got to take a real hard look at McDaniels. They have gotten rid of leaders who could potentially lead their teams to the Super Bowl. Cutler, Marshall, sound familiar? McDaniels shows that he is all about bad football when he won't even admit the New England case. Their draft picks have always been question marks, like Tebow. Chiefs quarterback Matt Castle had an NFL high 12 touchdown passes in November. With 5 games remaining, receiver Dwayne Bowe leads the league with a franchise record 14 touchdown receptions. With his next sack, linebacker Tamba Ali will pass his career high of 8.5 from last year. Chiefs 34, Broncos 10. At 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS, it's Jacksonville at Tennessee. The Titans were held to 162 total yards by the Texans, and rookie Rusty Smith threw 3 interceptions in his first career start, while becoming the third different quarterback in as many games. Running back Chris Johnson was also held to a career low 5 yards on 7 carries in a game also marred by a fight between Finnegan and Johnson. Tennessee's offense hasn't scored a touchdown in 9 quarters, and it ranks last in the NFL in time of possession at 26 minutes and 1 second. Go figure. Jaguars 23, Titans 6. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's San Francisco at Green Bay. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers will be the best player on the field Sunday. Rodgers had a tremendous game in last week's loss to the Falcons, leading the Packers down the field for what appeared to be an overtime forcing touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Rodgers is having a great year and deserves a lot of credit for the way he played against a good Falcons defense. Now against a weaker 49ers defense, he should have another big game. Packers 22, 49ers 13. At 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS, it's Cleveland at Miami. Coach Tony Sparano is pleased with Miami's defense, ranked 6th in the NFL, allowing 305.3 yards per game this year and 263.3 over the last 3 contests. The Dolphins held the Raiders, the number 5 rushing team, to 16 yards on the ground. That tied for the second lowest single game total by the Dolphins. In case of the LeBron homecoming couldn't convince you anything good about Miami, then this one should, which will pin Cleveland in the doghouse. Dolphins 19, Browns 15. At 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS, it's Buffalo at Minnesota. Favre is still Favre, meaning he is dangerous. And Peterson is averaging 4.7 yards per carry and has rushed for 1,016 yards and 8 touchdowns. Jared Allen is still a serious pass rushing threat on defense for Minnesota and will try to rattle Fitzpatrick. Frazier is feeling good about this team. Vikings 27, Bills 16. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's Chicago at Detroit. Cutler is coming off a tremendous outing on Sunday against the Eagles, and he was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for his efforts. So therefore, I will say Bears 20, Lions 16. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's New Orleans at Cincinnati. Saints rookie running back Chris Ivory is the workhorse the Saints need, since they will be traveling to climates for the month of December. Ivory gives the Saints the physical presence for a power running game they need to get their tough yards for goal line and short yardage situations. Depending on his injury status, Pierre Thomas could factor here as well. Let's face it, everywhere T.O. goes, he always loses. Palmer hasn't been the same since the injury because he is still throwing the ball more this year than all of last year. The defense has played a lot more and is getting exposed. Cincinnati has never had a soldiering group of players. Saints 30, Bengals 17. At 3:05 Central Time on CBS, it's Oakland at San Diego. Chargers tight end Antonio Gaines is seeking his 9th consecutive game with a touchdown, which is the longest such streak by a tight end in NFL history. Cornerbacks Antoine Cason and Quentin Jammer each had an interception in the Arizona win. Chargers 30, Raiders 24. At 3:15 Central Time on Fox, it's Carolina at Seattle. To win their fifth title in 7 years, the Seahawks will likely need to snap out of a slump that's dropped them 4-5. A visit from the league-worst Carolina Panthers on Sunday could help them do just that. Seahawks 18, Panthers 13. At 3:15 Central Time on Fox, it's Atlanta at Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers are going to have to alter their aggressive strategy on defense. They like to play man-to-man and hunt the interception, but the injury to Grimm and the failures against tight ends ripping them down the middle might mean some safer defense, like the notable Tampa 2. But can that hold off the popular no-huddle offense? Tampa Bay has lost 4 consecutive versus Atlanta. Now let's make that 5. Falcons 24, Buccaneers 23. At 3:15 Central Time on Fox, it's St. Louis at Arizona. The Cardinals are averaging 17.6 points per contest, 29th in the NFL. That's a killer, especially since they won't be able to compete very well now in the NFC West. Rams 14, Cardinals 11. At 3:15 Central Time on Fox, it's Dallas at Indianapolis. Manning has completed 317 of 486 passes for 3,344 yards and 22 touchdowns, with just 11 interceptions. Colts defensive ends Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney have 7.5 sacks and 7 sacks respectively. Colts 28, Cowboys 20. At 7:20 Central Time on NBC, it's Sunday Night Football between Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Roethlisberger will have problems no matter what happens because he will have to get the ball out as quickly as possible. I would expect to see a lot more shotgun out of the Steelers because Roethlisberger can't afford to drop back 5 to 7 steps once he is inside the pocket. This isn't the first time Roethlisberger played hurt against the Ravens, and sadly, the Steelers may have an excuse in place if they lose due to his injured foot. Look for Baltimore to take advantage over Roethlisberger because the Ravens can flat out wrap up quarterbacks. The loser of this game could earn the number 5 or number 6 seed in the AFC during the playoffs. But no matter what, these two teams will be in the playoffs. Ravens 19, Steelers 14. Then at 7:30 Central Time on ESPN, it's Monday Night Football between the Jets of New York at New England. When Brady uses the dummy count, it ignites the defense the wrong way. It manages to pressure the defense by summoning opportunities to open wide receivers, and the Jets of New York could get neutralized by this surprise. Also, because Rex Ryan is a defensive guy, the Jim Leonard injury will affect him emotionally. And don't forget, New England is unbeaten at home. Alright! Patriots 38, Jets 30. And that wraps up part 2 of 2 of my 2010 through 2011 NFL regular season schedule, week 13 picks. So, after all, who you got?